Billed in his prime as the world's greatest banjoist, John Calley, born in 1898 in New York City, never took a music lesson in his life. After beginning his career at the age of 12 as a self-taught violinist, Calley's musical coming-of-age coincided with America's establishment of its own unique musical identity through ragtime and early jazz. Recognizing the possibilities for the newly invented tenor banjo in popular music, Calley adapted his masterful violin technique to the instrument and quickly became a banjo master as well. While history notes him as being one of the most recorded musicians ever, John Calley's first recording session took place in 1919 when he was engaged by Thomas Edison to accompany vocalist Arthur Fields on the new tune Jada. From that first almost inaudible effort, the next 50 years saw Calley go on to add his distinctive musical touch to literally hundreds of recording sessions which netted thousands of songs. As a banjoist, John Calley is recognized as one of the originators of a style of playing the banjo which, until he created it, simply did not exist. He and fellow pioneers such as Harry Reeser, Eddie Peabody, and Michael Pingatore were responsible for the banjo taking the gigantic leap from the relative obscurity of the rhythm section to center stage. However, unlike vaudeville stars such as Roy Smeck and Eddie Peabody, John Calley avoided the limelight throughout his career, preferring instead the role of anonymous sideman. As such, few photos of Calley exist, and the true extent of the body of his work is often obscured by the many pseudonyms under which he recorded. In his preferred persona as a journeyman musician, John Calley literally grew up with radio. From his first wireless broadcasts in the early 1920s with Georgie Jessel and Tony Pastor's orchestra, the list of big-name bands and radio shows which later featured John Calley reads as a virtual history of radio itself. He did banjo solos with Al Jolson, Jimmy Durante, Kate Smith, Rudy Vallee, Fred Allen, and Eddie Cantor. Later, when public favor shifted away from the banjo to the guitar, Calley shifted as well, becoming a respected jazz guitarist, as well as having a hand in the creation and popularization of the country and western music genre. For most of his career, New York City was the only place a versatile multi-instrumentalist such as John Calley needed to be. He was as at ease playing difficult mandolin scores for the Metropolitan Opera as he was playing guitar to accompany cowboy star Gene Autry or a young Frank Sinatra. In the 1950s, when America found itself nostalgically yearning for the simple, fun music of the 1920s, John Calley found himself engaged in the recording studio more than ever before. He made over a dozen solo banjo LP recordings under his own name and appeared as a sideman on countless others. The Robert Shaw Chorale recording of the immortal songs of Stephen Foster is considered to be one of the finest presentations of the composer's work ever produced, thanks in no small part to John Calley's distinctive banjo accompaniment.
Be sure it's true when you say, I love you.
And although he received no album credit for the effort, when the world sang along with Something Smith and the Redheads as they crooned It's a Sin to Tell a Lie, it was John Calley's banjo which gave the million-selling record its unmistakable sound.
Just because these words were spoken, I love you.
John Calley spent his final show business years on Broadway in the orchestra of Hello, Dolly, with Mary Martin, Betty Grable, Pearl Bailey, and Carol Channing performing on stage in the title role. During his run with Hello, Dolly, he missed only one scheduled performance, on September 27, 1965. That evening, Calley received an urgent call from the musical director of Fiddler on the Roof to take the place of his dear friend Harry Reeser, who had collapsed and died in the orchestra pit while preparing for the evening's performance. After thousands of recording sessions, broadcasts, and concert appearances over a 60-year span, John Calley retired in 1971 and moved to Seattle. Within a few short years, his hands were nearly crippled by arthritis. When a Seattle newspaper reporter coaxed him to play the banjo during a 1981 interview, it was the final time the man known as the world's greatest banjoist touched the instrument. Although the man who made so much beautiful music during his lifetime passed away quietly on April 19, 1984, his legacy lives on through the thousands of recordings he left behind. As a consummate musician, banjo virtuoso, and true pioneer in both jazz and country western music, John Calley, quite simply put, is an important part of America's musical history.